Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. Somebody's gonna say hitting a security guard isn't the best solution. But what if he says he's not a security guard? And our first story for today. I don't work here, and I'm not a security guard. I was a traffic cadet at an event at the city's train station. What I have on, blue pants with 2 reflective stripes, a vest with our designation, VK for traffic cadets in German, a beret, tie, black steel cap shoes. The cast. VK is me, EL is my supervisor, S is security guard, K, as most know, is Karen, and M is manager. The real story. It was around noon. My supervisor called me by radio and said that I have a 45-minute break. Another traffic cadet replaced my position and I went to a grocery store. I went to the bread department and took a small bun. Karen joined the game. When I packed the bun in a bag, I felt a hand on my shoulder and I was surprised that somebody wanted something from me. It was Karen. As everybody knows her, the I want to talk to your manager haircut, in her 30s, smaller than me. I'm 180 centimeters tall, 6 feet for Americans, and she's a head shorter than me. Here's how the conversation went. VK, what do you want? K, I have a boy who just drinks from the bottle. VK, and what should I do now, arrest him? Yes, you do that. VK, unfortunately I can't do that because 1, I don't work here, 2, I have a break, and 3, I have different clothes than security. K, do not lie to me. VK, I try to politely ask you to get out of my way. I just want to pay. And I start to walk away, but I'm held by Karen on the arm, and she hits me. K, do what I've said to you. VK, excuse me? Why are you slapping me? I didn't do anything to you. And I repeat myself, I do not work here. I'm pushing you back to a safe distance. K, do not touch me. I'm trying to reach my supervisor, and I said, I've just been beaten by a woman. EL, what? Where are you? VK, in the store. Name. EL, I'm on my way. So I ran back to the drinks to hide from this wild Karen. But Karen followed me and hit me again and screamed at me. K, why are you walking away from me, you little piece of crap? I'm going to get you fired. So the store manager heard our loud conversation and ran up to us. M, what's going on here? VK, this woman assaulted me. Karen cut me off. No, you did. You're not doing your job right, and this guy drinks without paying for it. M, ma'am, please stop screaming. My supervisor arrived and came to see us with my cheek red from Karen's slap. EL, VK, are you okay? Yes, I am, but this woman slapped me because I didn't help her with a guy that drank a cola without paying. Karen cut me off again. K, it's your job to do that. VK, no, it's not. I don't work here. I work outside of this store in an event. K, liar, liar, liar. And she turns to my supervisor. K, I want this employee fired for being rude and assaulting and not helping me. M, calm down, ma'am. We can review the camera footage. Karen gets white, and her breath breaks. Me, my supervisor, Karen, and the manager walk into the staff area, but before that, the actual security guard comes in. S, sir, this woman has slapped this person multiple times. Manager, I know. Let's look at the footage. The manager sees Karen clearly holding my shoulder and turning me around, slapping me in the face. Karen started to say that I abused her, and I said, that's not true. I was telling you that I don't work here. I just wanted to buy some buns. So she stopped talking, and the manager asked me if I wanted the police to look into this and replied, no, I just want to have my break. He gave me a coupon for 10% off my next purchase as a sorry for this whole thing. I took it and left the store with my supervisor. After that, I continued my duty and went home after the event. Next day, I walked to my city's police and reported the whole incident. After an entire year, I received a message from them. Insert Karen's name. She was found guilty of assaulting an authority, yes, traffic cadets are friends with the police, and a fine 800 CHF. I showed it to my supervisor and we laughed about it. And our second story. Customer calls me on my day off, expects me to provide service. So I deliver sandwiches for a living. I've been doing it for almost 6 years now. Most of our customers order from businesses during lunchtime, and some of those businesses keep their doors locked. Usually I end up calling them to come out to meet me. We do this for some of my regular-ish customers. We'll call him Winston. Winston is never happy with this service. Sometimes he calls in because we didn't put enough avocado on his sandwich. Sometimes it's because the driver didn't show him the respect he deserves, which probably means they tried to make eye contact or something. I don't know. Sometimes the food just costs too much. Now, the GM put a note on Winston's caller ID not to give him any credits or anything because we don't want to reward people for finding new and innovative ways to be annoying. This has led to Winston generally being left unsatisfied when he tries to complain. I delivered to Winston on Thursday, and as usual, I called him and waited half an hour for the dried-up prune to make his way to the front door. Everything went fine, except the usual attitude problem. The fun didn't begin until Friday, which is my day off. So I'm sitting in my pajamas trying to find a song I heard online a bit ago when my phone rings. I answer it, and what do you know? It's the sound of Winston's mouth breathing. Me. Hello? Winston. Where's my food? Me. What? Winston. My food's late. Me. Okay. I'm not working today, but you can call the store. Winston. Of course you're working. You always deliver my food. Me. Not on Fridays. This is where my patented okay method comes into play. Whenever I don't have anything to say, I just say okay. It's completely non-confrontational and doesn't imply any deeper meaning. It doesn't imply that I will do anything for or against you. Winston. Well, I ordered 35 minutes ago and my food isn't here yet. Me. Okay. He waits for me to continue. I don't. Winston. When are you going to be here with my food? Me. I'm not going to be, am I? Because I don't work on Fridays. Winston. You don't get to disrespect me. Me. Okay. Winston. I'm going to complain. Me. Okay. He didn't respond immediately, so I just hung up and went back to looking for that song. Later, I got a text from one of my coworkers. Apparently, when he called in to complain about me, he threw such a hissy fit that he got blacklisted. One of the owners ended up taking the call, and she did not like his attitude. And our third story. Technically, I don't work here. I used to work for Greg's, a British bakery, to get money to help me get through university, and would come back to my hometown every weekend to work. In my hometown, there were about 3 Greg's stores, 1 in the industrial park and 2 in the town center, of which one of them I worked in. Since I had to arrive in my own clothes and get changed there, I would often get there about 5 to 10 minutes early. I tried to greet my colleagues, but they didn't hear me since it was really busy, so I just went upstairs to get changed. When I finished changing, I sat in the break room for the remainder of the time before my shift started when my manager, who was searching for me, burst through the door. She said she was hoping to have spoken with me before I got changed because they'd ran out of cake boxes. Since it was really busy, she hadn't had time to go to the office or to call the other store to borrow theirs. She asked if I could quickly run to the other store and she would clock me into the system. Normally, we weren't allowed to leave the store in our uniform, so I knew she was desperate. I took off my hat and apron, but still left on the trousers, shirt, and name badge. I made my way down to the other store, and since I only work weekends and barely go to the other store, I didn't recognize the girl behind the counter. Annoyingly, she was the only one on the shop floor since the store was pretty empty, a complete contrast to how my store was. Since I was wearing the uniform, they knew straight away I was there to collect something. I explained what, and the girl went to tell her manager, who was up in the office, leaving only me on the shop floor. I made my way to the end of the counter and took out my phone to reply to messages when a very rude man entered, tapped me on the shoulder, and pushed a small Greg's bag towards me. "This is stone cold," he said. I looked in the bag and saw a sausage roll with 1 bite taken out of it. I apologized and told him that recently the tax for selling hot food was increasing, so Greg's had to take out the heating lamps and let the pastries go cold. Either that or increase the price of the food. I had this speech memorized since the complaint was very common. I looked at the ovens behind the counter and could see a new tray of sausage rolls only had like 4 minutes left and told him to hold on, and if he asked for one fresh out of the oven, he'd most likely be given one. He then handed me the bag and said, "Well, blank, don't you think you should get off your phone, get back to work, and give me one from the oven?" One word of advice. If a person in a shop is wearing a name badge, don't say their name. It's annoying as hell. I told him I didn't work there, and he looked at me as if I was a liar. I explained the situation to him, and he interrupted and told me since I worked for the company, then I had to get him what he wanted. I replied with something along the lines of, "Look, I don't have a hat or an apron on. I wouldn't even be allowed behind the counter even if I did work here. I think it's funny that you're being this rude to me and thinking you're going to get your way. I haven't even started my shift yet, and I'm getting lip from someone with ill manners." As I was on my tangent, the manager and the girl came down with a spare box of cake boxes. Even the manager was different from who I remembered it to be, so he didn't know me. He asked what was going on, and I tried to explain, but halfway through the first sentence, the man interrupted me, gave his side of the story. He was claiming that I was swearing at him because I didn't want to work, and instead of getting him fresh food, just ignored him and started playing on my phone. Since the manager didn't know me or my personality, he looked at me angrily as he put the box on the counter. I knew that every Greg store has been fitted with CCTV pointing at both the customer side and the cashier side of the counter, so I told him to watch the last 5 minutes of the footage and found out that it was all a lie. The man looked nervous but stayed in the store. The manager left, leaving the girl, myself, and the lunatic. After a few minutes, the ovens beeped and the girl started taking the tray out. The man immediately piped up, hoping to get the food and leave before the manager came back down. She explained that they were not sausage rolls, but in fact steak and cheese rolls, from which a few paces away look exactly the same. This made me smile since the rude idiot would not be getting what he wanted. The manager came back down and apologized to me for everything that had happened. I picked up the box, walked back to my store. When I got back, my manager was rightfully PO'd since it took way longer than it should have. However, I told her to phone the other manager on her break and he would explain everything to her. I got dressed and finally started my shift. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.